I'm Amy Cassels.
And I'm Trey Cassels.
And we are here doing our very first podcast episode. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous.
I'd be lying if I said I don't want to be here.
Okay, I'm sweating a little bit.
Are you?
Just a little bit. Woo! All right. So we live in Magnolia, Texas. We have 3 kids, and we've been married for a really long time.
You don't even know how long we've been married.
I never do the math in my head, but it's like 19 years.
You never do math. You're not very good at math.
Well, that's true. But it's
18 years married and 21 years together.
Okay, yeah. So we've gone through a lot. We've been through a ton of situations, and we've had a lot of fun times in our life.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things in common, and one of those things are just keeping ourselves healthy. We like to keep our family healthy. We like to have fun. Everything has to be fun, or we're super ADD and we quit.
Yeah. Or just marry someone that's super healthy and you really don't have a choice.
Well, there's that
that's kind
too.
of what happened.
Yeah.
Because I would go off the rails if it wasn't for her.
I would say that most days we are...
Did you just stop me from swinging?
I did stop you from swinging.
Don't let me have my energy. I'm going to swing.
Kind of a distracting.
Well, then focus.
Well, anyway, so most days I would say we're pretty much running around like chickens with our heads cut off, but
yeah.
But we're working on it. We're trying to do better. I think that every single part of our life is a constant evolution, and we're constantly evolving to
growing,
get better and
maturing.
Grow. Yes, and this has been a huge goal of ours.
Ours?
Okay, this has been a huge goal of mine to have a podcast. And to just come on here and talk about life and more. But you know what? I'm going to tell you more about that in a little bit. Okay, you go ahead and tell us a little bit about us, Trey.
About us? Well,
Yeah.
It said Amy, and then it says tell about Trey. So I tell about us or me?
Tell about us. Well, you're going to introduce us as a couple. Who are we?
We're crazy. We're fun. We're I don't know. We enjoy each other's company, and we enjoy where we take each other. We follow our dreams. We follow our hearts, and once you get something in your mind, I jump on there with you, and we roll. And if I get something in my mind, you support me and roll with me. And I think it's just been a fun journey.
I do love that for the most part, you do a lot of things that I want to do.
You know, I was thinking about that, and I don't, I know why, but I don't know if it's the right time in here to talk about it, but it has to do with a love language.
Well, I also think that you're a pleaser too, though.
One of my love languages is acts of service.
Yes.
And one of your love languages is acts of service.
You think so?
I do. I think that's a love language we have in common.
Well, I would say that more my love language is quality time.
Yes.
But I do like it whenever you do
Babe,
stuff.
you made me lunch yesterday, and it was like this gourmet sandwich with
I do
chips
like
and
that.
carrots, and that to me is an act of service.
Well, I would say, hold on. My love language, if I'm going to make someone food, that is definitely how I speak. Like, I love you, and I'm going to make you food. I'm going to bring you food for your family, or somebody's
an
out.
act of service.
Okay, yeah, that is act of service.
So if you want to know the differences, I'm physical touch and words of affirmation. You are quality time and gifts. And it's not like material gifts. I could go buy her a coffee mug and she'd be happy and be like, that'd be great. I should do that more often. Not a coffee mug, but just more little gifts. But the one thing we share that's in common is acts of service. And that way, when I love in that language, it benefits you. When you love in that language, it benefits me.
Have you ever noticed that whenever you have to leave the room and go downstairs or go to leave to work, and you're like, all right, I got to go. And I'm like, well, wait, would you do this? Wait, would you do that?
Have I ever noticed that? Yes, quite a few times. So the reason I'm here today is because I'm loving you in that language of service, because I do not want to be here. But I know that something that's in your heart and in your mind that you are relentlessly talking about for the last 7 years, I didn't have a choice. And so it was time to just jump on that train and see where it takes us. So I am eagerly excited to see where it goes, but petrified to be sitting in this chair being filmed.
Well, this is the perfect segue into why we're doing this podcast. And I had a vision years ago. I would say back in 2014, and I saw myself doing a podcast because I love podcasts. I feel like they're very easy to listen to, and I love feeling like I'm part of someone's conversation, and I can just press play and cook and do whatever, go for a walk. And I had this vision of having a podcast where I could just talk about pretty much anything and everything of things that interest me. And I tried to do it, but nothing ever really came of it because I am the type of person that likes to figure things out for myself, but it doesn't always work out as planned.
So when you record for 30 minutes and then you edit it for 6 hours?
Well, exactly. So I wanted to figure out how to edit, yes, and it would take me like 6 hours, and I'd be like, okay, this is crap. And then I wouldn't do anything else, and then it would just sit there. Yeah. But fast forward after 2014, there was so much that happened in our family. I mean, in our marriage. I mean, everything from miscarriages to death to, possible death of our family. I mean, of our marriage. And things just kind of took a twist and a turn, and we came out of it. And it was coming out of it that I thought, man, we've got some really awesome stories to share. I would love to have Trey and I both on a show talking about some of those things over time. So
we're fighters. We've been fighting for ourselves. And when we fall out of love with each other, we fight to get back into love with each other because we know the connection that's there when it's there, and we know when it's not. And we go after it so much harder when it's not because we want to get it back.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. You annoy the crap out of me a lot, but it's okay.
Well, okay, I will say this too. My grandmother was a huge inspiration for me. She is the one who introduced me to health and wellness from a very young age. I would go visit her in Portland, Oregon, and I'll never forget opening her cabinet, and it was nothing but mason jars filled with just nuts and seeds and trail mixes, and that's where I got all the mason jars from. We have a gazillion mason jars.
A lot of mason jars.
And
Avery breaks them all the time.
She does. We have one very clumsy girl. That's exactly how I was when I was her age. But anyway, Grandma Mary was the first one to show me how to use essential oils. She showed me how to add vegetables to my smoothie, how to exercise and grow a garden, and all these sorts of amazing life skills. And recently, my grandmother passed, and that was really difficult. It was during COVID time. She did not die of COVID. She died because she was isolated for so long. And after that, you just go downhill. And
Is that when you ordained yourself?
Huh? Well, yes, but...
Should we talk about that?
Well, my grandmother was in a nursing home for many years, assisted living, and they were on complete lockdown. And they said that nobody could come in, nobody could go out. The residents, they could go outside to walk their dogs or to smoke a cigarette. That was about it. Well, my grandmother just had a dog. She didn't smoke. But I found out that you can be an ordained minister and go in as a clergy. So I got my ordained minister's license, and I put my hair in a bun, and then I
glasses on.
I pulled it, and
real
then
conservative sweater,
and then I let it go. I put on my glasses. I had on this ridiculous
your book and your Bible
blazer,
and rolled in there like you were some ordained minister.
Yes, and I had these like loose slacks. I looked like a complete nerd. And then of course, my mask, and then I had I got a COVID test, people. Okay. I got a COVID test right before it was.
We're not even
It was
going
negative. There. But anyway, I go in with my Bible, and I said, "Hi, my name is Amy Cassels, and I'm here to visit Mary Gardner on a clergy visit here from Sunnyside Church." And they said, "Oh, okay,
you
we'll
said
set your
Sunnyside?"
Well, yeah, Sunnyside Church. That's the church we went to in Oregon whenever I was young. So that was the first thing that came to my mind.
I just know that from Toy Story. Where the
Sunnyside?
Where the toys went. Yeah, Sunnyside.
So I got to go in, and I got to spend 2 amazing hours with my grandmother. And I just prayed with her. We listened to old hymnal music. I anointed her with all sorts of biblical essential oils. And I actually got to record her final words to her children. That was amazing. And anyway, during the time of where I was looking for what I wanted to put in her memorial video, I found tapes that my grandmother did. In 1997 and 1998, she had 2 years on a radio show in Portland, Oregon, and it was called Proverbs for Parents. And they were actually tapes, cassette tapes. And
that's what I was digging in the attic for.
That's what we were searching frantically for.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I wanted to put her voice into the video clip, so into the slideshow. And I listened to it, and oh my gosh, to hear your grandmother's voice from over 20 years ago, oh my gosh, it was amazing.
It was cool. That kids, we actually listened to it on the way to some events, and they were 30-minute segments. And
yeah, they're all little 30-minute episodes.
Literally just listened to them quietly in the car, and when it was over, they loved it and they wanted to listen to more. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
I'm like, shut up, kids, we're listening to Grandma. But it was that really pushed this to happen. It was saying, oh my gosh, because I had forgotten about those episodes. I forgot about those cassette tapes. She had sent me those in 2005.
So Grandma's why we're here?
It's Grandma. It's Grandma. Grandma Mary. Yeah.
Love that woman.
So that is why we're here. And she loved you, by the way.
I know, it's her favorite.
That's why we're here. And we're going to talk, we're going to talk everything about stuff in marriage. Our experiences. We're going to talk about, why does that make you yawn?
I didn't yawn. I go, poof.
Okay. Kids, we're going to talk about health.
Our marriage is not boring. I can tell you that. There's no yawning in our marriage.
Health and wellness, fitness, faith, the way that God has worked in our lives.
It's been amazing.
Yeah. So that's why we're here. Why are you here, Trey?
Because I love you and I'm serving you right now in our love language.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay.
And I'll let that elaborate as we go on, because right now that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Okay. So there is some questions that we were asked, and we'll go ahead and answer those. So the first question is, how did we meet? I'm going to let you take this one, Trey, because you share it so well. Don't forget about the part where you sound like an angel.
Good Lord. Cinco de Mayo, the date, and then the restaurant, Cinco de Mayo. Was the first time we met. So we met on Cinco de Mayo at Cinco de Mayo. And I had
2001.
2000. It's the easiest number to remember. It's 2000.
Right. 2000.
Whatever. Anyway, she's not good with math. I met her at the restaurant. We were walking in because we were going there for margaritas after work. She was going there with some friends because she was about to start work at where I worked at. And we got to talking outside, and she was like, hey, I'm going to wear the same thing to work tomorrow, so don't say anything. And I was like, all right, I got you. And you
knew what I was talking about, right?
You had
well, okay.
When I say I got you, that means I understand.
Well, I had, do you remember what I wore?
Yeah, you wore a black, hold on. I know it was black and white polka dots. I don't know if it was.
Skirt, black and white polka dot skirt.
You asked me the question. Let me finish. It was black and white skirt, and then I think a white blouse, tank top white blouse.
Yeah.
And then you rolled into it the next day. Well, that night I had partaked in a little bit too much alcohol, and I felt a little off the next morning, hungover. And I'm sitting in the break room, and the break room has a glass door in it. And the sun actually sets in the morning, and when right at the right time, it'll come through the awning that comes in, and it just hits on that door. Well, she opens that door, and then her silhouette is shadowing the sun in my face while I'm hungover, and I'm like, oh my God, that's an angel. And then she walks through, and the blonde hair just starts flowing in the wind, and I'm like, oh, she's just beautiful. And then she has this to-go box in her hand, and it was burrito from Cinco de Mayo last night, and I was so freaking hungry and so hungover. And when you came over and asked me if I was all right, I was like, yeah, I'm just hungover and hungry. You're like, well, do you want my burrito? I was like, yes. And right then I knew she's beautiful, she's loving, and she gave me her burrito. It's like, I just want this woman now.
Yeah, and I don't give away my food for just anybody.
Yeah, you were pretty particular about that. I found
out
later.
I like to eat, so.
After getting to know you, I knew that was a very nice act of service that you did for me, and I appreciated it. Okay, but there's the angel part. You did look like an angel.
Well, so that was on a Thursday, and thank you, by the way. That was on a Thursday, right? I think it was a Thursday because I had just finished training. It was out at Piney Shores out on Lake Conroe, by the way.
Yep, I was her manager.
Yeah, he was my manager. That was fun.
It was fun.
So it was a Thursday, and then our days off were Monday and Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
So Sunday night, you invited me to come out with your friends and go to Barney's off of
God,
Sawdust
that was
and
so funny.
go to the pool bar.
I hadn't been on an actual date in a long time. And so I got all my friends at one pool table playing pool, and then me and you were at another pool table over in the corner.
No, we all hung out.
No, I know, but we were sitting over there by ourselves, and then all my boys were like, dude, are you going to stand over there the whole time, or are you going to come over here and have fun with us? And so then we walked over there, and we started all hanging out.
And then...
Because I was trying to be all cool and have this, like, private date with you on our own pool table and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so then the next day, I think you wanted to see if you liked me, because then the next day...
I already knew I liked you.
You invited me to come out on the boat.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. Is that when we snuck into the April Sun pool and jumped the fence and got in the hot tub?
I can't remember. I think
that was. Then I saw you in a bathing suit for the first time.
Oh, gosh.
19 years old. Still looks the same.
Right. Yeah. Okay. What quality about the other person do you admire most, and why?
You go first. I had to go first on the first one.
Okay. So what quality do I love about Trey the most?
Quality or body part?
Well, the body part is next. Okay.
Oh.
So Trey can sometimes lose his patience a little and get a little frustrated at some of us in the family. And he sometimes, rarely, might go a little too far in his irritability. But he will always...
a bit of a hothead?
No, not always.
Okay.
But he will always recognize it and bring it out and say, hey guys, and like pull us all together and say, I'm sorry that I did this, this, and this. I want to do better.
This, and this. How about just this?
Okay, whatever. I want to do better. Okay. Nothing will give you more compassion for someone than them actually opening their heart. And I can easily, when somebody is irritable or whatever, it is my natural tendency to just kind of be like, psh, and walk and just go away. Like I will keep to myself. I know I don't have a problem with that. I just, because that's what I need. When I'm frustrated, I just kind of step aside.
Wall up.
I wall up and I'm like, okay, just leave me alone and let me breathe and then I'll get this out.
Chiseling that wall down.
Trey's a little bit different in that aspect. But anyway, so when this last week we were at a couple of weeks ago, we went down to visit his mom.
Examples? I thought you were just saying.
Well, I am, but I gotta give an example. It helps the story. So a couple of weeks ago, we go down to visit his mom in Harlingen, and for whatever reason, Trey was just
bringing my mom into this now, huh?
Just Trey was super irritable, and we were not leaving on time.
Oh, that was the airport.
That was at the airport.
'Cause nobody in our family knows what a timestamp is.
Well, we got things to do. Ugh. We kind of like to have our house cleaned up and everything is situated before we leave.
You do. Well, I just want to be on time.
Okay. Well, anyway. So Trey was just irritable. And on the way to the airport, it's like, this guy's cutting him off and he's pissed off about that. And, that guy's driving too slow. And he's like, we're not getting to the airport. He's like, rah, 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 and then just nothing seemed to be going right. Well, then we get into the airport and Trey's still a little fuming a little bit. And then all of a sudden he just sits down. He sits down in a chair, and I kind of walk up, and he goes, come on. And you said, guys, I'm really frustrated, and I don't understand why. I feel like I'm under attack here, and I just need y'all to pray for me. And for me, nothing makes my walls just come crumbling down like someone just opening their heart and saying something like that. So we all just put our hands on you and prayed, and the rest of the weekend it was freaking absolutely
popped
perfect.
Up like a whole new man and got whatever was inside of me out and had my spirit back and enjoyed an amazing time with our family. So that was a very humbling thing to do, and haven't done that as much as I'd like, and having that experience makes me want to do it more. So anyway.
So what do you love about me?
It's not what I love. You said the quality.
Oh, okay.
What quality about the other do you admire most? I didn't know you were going to say that about me, because I was going to talk about just your joy. There are so many things that happen throughout a day that can break you down frustrate you, irritate you, make you sad, make you happy, whatever. But every day you wake up, you just ping up and you have this joy for life. You have this joy for people. And you have had your heart open this entire time. And that's what I truly love about you, is your heart and the joy that you have for life and for everyone in it. It's just fun to watch. And being side by side with you, watching that, it just breaks down all my walls of pride and ego and concerns about what other people think. Because I have to tell you that I've had a lot of my friends over the years specifically tell me it is very hard to be your friend sometimes with some of the things that you have me do. But I do it because you are someone that I will do anything for. And I will die for you and live by your side for you. And I just love what you bring to the world every single day.
You're not supposed to make me cry.
Well, thanks. That is a quality that I love about you.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Woo. Woohoo. All right. So what body part is your favorite?
On you? Hands down your butt. I love booty.
All right. Well, guess I better get back to some squats.
No, it's good every day the way it is since I've known you.
All right.
Any and every day. It's been great.
Okay. All right. What body part do I love on Trey?
I don't know.
I would probably say like your whole upper torso. Your whole upper torso. Like when I first...
Like my nipples? Like my nipples?
Are you cold?
It's very cold in here.
Okay. When I first met Trey...
I started thinking about your butt, and that's got my nipples hard.
Oh, God. You know our kids are going to be listening to this.
I'm sorry. It's so hard.
Okay. When I first met Trey, I gotta remember you. You had a lot longer curly hair.
No,
Your hair, you had more hair.
What are you trying to say?
But anyway,
It's not thinning.
you were always wearing suits. And I remember you were just like kind of buff a little bit, and you still are.
I worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you filled out your shirts, and I like that. I like that. I like that.
Don't touch me.
Okay. All right. So the next question: what rituals do you enjoy doing as a couple?
Ritual sounds like you could take that in so many ways.
Okay. What activities?
That's another way you can take in so many ways. I mean, I have one in mind, but I don't know what you want to talk about. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. Do you remember when I lived at, what's it called? Montgomery Park. It was Montgomery Park Boulevard. It was White Oak Apartments. Not the park.
That's where, we lived there together.
Yes, but I lived there first.
That's where I took you through the threshold.
Yes.
Honeymoon.
Okay, but I lived with Becky Kane. Remember? And we lived on the third floor.
Yeah, we moved into there.
No, we moved across the way. Like across. It was second floor.
In White Oak?
Yes, I lived in 2 different apartments there.
Okay, well, all right, there it is.
Okay.
Keep going.
So you remember that apartment complex?
You're talking about rituals, right?
Yes, but hold on. Just go with me.
Well,
Do you remember how we would go on walks all the way around that apartment complex?
Yeah, you have wanted, ever since I've known you, that walk of whatever it is of quality time has been your thing.
Well, I think it's because when we go for a walk, it's our chance to talk. I mean, we talk. I mean, think about how much crap we have worked through. How many times have we gotten in arguments?
How many times we walked home by ourselves?
How many times we walked home by ourselves?
Or I've caught back up to you, you've caught back up to me.
Okay.
That's funny.
So I'm remembering a funny story. So, all right. I wasn't going to tell this, but I recently...
What do you mean? We're just talking about rituals right now.
I know. Oh, okay. No, I'm not going to talk about catfish.
Oh, that's up to you. That's you. You look like a catfish.
Okay, so I wanted to test something out, and I got some like injection things in my lips. Okay, it looked horrible, like bad.
Against my advice.
Yeah, it looked really bad. And thank God it was only temporary. But anyway, it looked really bad. And Trey and I went on a walk together. And it was like a really irritable day. I mean, both of us were super irritable. And so we go for a walk, and then we're like starting to argue.
This was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know. And we're starting to argue, and he starts walking ahead, and I'm like, go home then, and he's like, fine, I will. And so I'm walking behind him, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna call my mom. So I talk to my mom, like I always do on my walks.
Or your sister.
Or my sister. If I'm not with
Brittany.
Trey, I'm talking to my mom or my sister.
Brittany.
So anyway, I said something.
Love you,
I sent something to Trey over text because he went ahead and walked home. I sent something to him, and he responded back like, I'm done with this conversation. Go take a jump in the lake, catfish. I just died laughing. He doesn't ever call me names, but I mean, that time it was appropriate.
It was very appropriate.
I did look like a
And
catfish.
you needed to go. No, I said go cool off and jump in the lake, catfish. I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah, it was something like that. Anyway, it was so funny and
kind of broke the anger ice.
It did because we both started. I came home and I was like, catfish.
Yeah, that was a good one, wasn't it?
But I would say that for sure, walks are the best. I mean, it's what we do at least 3 times a week. We go for a walk.
I do enjoy them. Sometimes they're hard to get in because it takes away from things that we're both wanting to do. But when we know we haven't done them in a while, going back on them just kind of resets. So it's kind of like our ground effect. It's like our grounding. It just resets us. Because if I don't feel like talking to you, all I got to do is listen because you're a very good talker. You talk a lot. And I can just listen. And then sometimes I just need you to listen and I can talk a lot.
Sometimes you can talk.
Oh, I'll go forever.
You will talk and I'm like, what is he talking about? Yeah, so. But he'll talk forever.
That's how it works.
Yeah. Okay, so what is your favorite activity to do or ritual or whatever?
Whatever you like to do.
Whatever. No, give him something.
I mean, with you or as a family or what?
With me.
I love traveling.
You like traveling?
Yes. When we go to new places and we go to new areas, I'm very recluse, whatever you call it, like a shy, right? Recluse, whatever. I enjoy going and traveling with you because all I have to do is let you be a little bit in front of me, sit back and watch the show because you're going to talk to every single person you run into. You're going to go into all these different stores. You're going to look at all these different things, and it is very entertaining.
Okay, that's funny.
And I enjoy watching you do those things. I do not enjoy you making loud bursts of jokes with me in Walmarts and at the airport and in public areas.
Oh, so I really,
bathroom visits.
I really like practical jokes a lot.
Lord. Be sitting in Lowe's on the toilet doing my thing, and I hear this woman's voice come through the echo of the bathroom while there's 2 guys in the urinal peeing and 2 guys next to me taking a crap. She's like, Trey, is everything okay in there?
Well, you have to.
Anything?
Well, you have to trick them.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You have to trick them. So first, you have to open the door, and you just kind of speak, and you go, "Hey, Trey," and then he'll go, "Yeah," and that way he's outspoken, so everybody knows where he is. And then you say, "Honey, are you okay? You've been in there for a really long time. Is there anything that I can get for you?"
I used to get mortified when she'd do it, but now I spin it back around. I'm like, "Yeah, I need some help with this over here. Can you help me wipe?"
Yeah, he does. He spins it around pretty good. Okay, but last night, you have to admit, I got you good.
With the dog food?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. So, I don't like food around my plate that falls off the plate, and so there was something that fell off my plate.
Well, hold on. Back up. Tell him, Tank. We have Tank. That was our first child.
Oh, my God, that dog. I love him to death, but, I mean, Doggy Heaven is calling his name.
He's 18.
He'll be 18 in December. And he's a tank, man. I mean, this dog is a 15-pound fox terrier, and I'm not going to say he won't die, but he's just very resilient. Yeah, and he's blind, he's deaf, And the only way he communicates with you is by barking. And he has the loudest ear-piercing bark that echoes through our house. And it's extremely, I just love that dog.
Okay, but he can't eat hard food, so we give him the Little Caesars.
Those Little Caesars. It looks like real food. It looks like people food.
It's they're called Little Caesars toppers, and when you
like
open
chicken and peas and carrots
it's like
and stuff
shredded chicken. It looks like somebody just took some rotisserie chicken and some celery and carrots and then put it in there. And
doesn't taste like it though.
I will put it on top of his other dog food, which is another Little Caesars, the little square ones. So
he's well taken care of.
So Trey had come home. He was on the phone last night. He gets his food and he brings his food over to the table. Well, our 4-year-old comes over and brings me Tank's dog food so I could open it up and then and drop it on the plate. Well, I see Trey's plate sitting there on the table and I look at the Little Caesars chicken and I'm like, plate, chicken, plate, chicken.
Wait, who does that?
So
who thinks that?
I do. So I picked up a little bit of the chicken and a little carrot, and then I just put it right beside his plate, and then I go and I put Tank's food down.
Because she knows it was going to bother me because I'm very particular about my food. I don't like things on the table. I like a clean table when you eat. And I saw that over there, and I thought it was part of my food that fell off, so I grabbed it, put it in my mouth, and then go to sit down, and as I'm chewing, I'm like, what the heck is that? And then she's dying laughing. The kids are dying laughing. And I'm like, okay, that's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a good one. No, I saw I saw his face. It was like, oh.
See, the mood in which I'm in when those things happen, it either changes abruptly or I can laugh it off. But one of those.
He did, and I can usually read. And by the way, we have three children. We have Avery, who's 14, and she's a swimmer.
Little baby girl.
And we have Evan, who's 12.
Our little man.
He is into Subakdo, and he's doing excellent.
Yep.
And then we have River, who is about to turn 5.
Little bubby.
Yeah. And River there's a big age gap between the older two and River.
Yeah.
And we tried for many years. We got
6
pregnant.
Years. 3 times, 4 times, 3 times.
It took us a while.
Yeah.
To figure out how to get pregnant again.
3 miscarriages. Well, we knew how to get pregnant, and we practiced that technique often and at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we were still 2 years of infertility before that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
because it was 2 years of infertility, and then it was 3 years of getting pregnant, having miscarriages. So it was a 5-year journey.
It was, yeah. But the first 2 years, there came to a point where we realized that there were some things that we needed to let go of, and some emotions and some deep, dark secrets that we needed to reveal.
We're not going into all that today.
I'm not. You just made it awkward.
No,
you just made it awkward.
I didn't make it awkward. I was
just
making sure that we'd wait to that as we get further into
Well, anyway, there were some things that needed to come out into the open to share with each other, to release those emotions. And I kid you not, when that happened, we got pregnant 3 weeks later. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks later.
It was the day of the revelation that we came home and tried. And it was within it was in like 3 weeks of that.
Yeah.
It was pretty powerful.
So after that, we finally got pregnant, but we ended up losing that one. And, those are stories we'll definitely go into at some point.
Why did we name him River? Was there something to do with like something was flipped upside down in you and the fluids am I going off on the wrong thing here?
I just liked the name.
No, because there was fluid in his brain.
And we just happened to be naming him River. We already knew that.
I thought it had something to correlate with that. That was like this cool story of like what we prayed for and it got fixed, and so we decided to name him that. Was that in my head?
Mm-mm.
Okay, whatever.
No, actually, I just met someone on a Facebook group forum
That's not fun.
It is what it is. I met a girl on Facebook and became friends with her. Turned out she's from Portland, Oregon, which is where I'm originally from. Of course, I've been in Texas forever, but we go back to Portland all the time.
Moved here when you were 5?
Yeah.
5.
And she had a son named River, and I loved the name. So
because we were fighting over Bentley as his first name, and then we ended up, because Bentley is your mother's maiden name, and that's where River Bentley Cassels came from. Evan was an easy pick, and then we named him Lee after my dad.
You know, Evan is the name of my ex-boyfriend's son, right? That's why I liked that name.
Hold on, ex-boyfriend's son.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like his son or the ex-boyfriend? Why'd you name him Evan?
Because I liked his son's name. Evan. Did
sound
I
very
ever tell you that?
Who? You talking about?
Rigo.
Rigo.
Yeah.
I remember Rigo. I made a lot of fun of you about Rigo.
Hey. Anyway, so yeah, his son's name is Evan, and I liked that name.
Well,
and
good for you.
Well, yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you that part.
I don't care. We named him Lee after my dad, and then Avery Bell. I think we always wanted a Bell. We wanted to name her Bella.
You know what? It was popular in 2007.
I just love the name Avery, and we spell it with an I, not a Y, and so it's unique there. But Avery Bell Cassels, it just flows. I love her name. It's so beautiful. She's such a beautiful young lady.
She is.
It's kind of scary.
It is. These kids are growing up into a teenage age, and I found out recently that kids actually, when they're little, like River's age, they're going to find their identity in their parents, and they're just all about their parents. But as they get to be like the, junior high puberty age, they start really disconnecting from their parents, and they're actually trying to detach, and they're trying to find their own identity. And they have certain parts of their brain that are actually like turning off, and their brain is trying to rewire, and they need a lot of sleep. And then it kind of comes back together as they get a little bit older. So they kind of go through this process.
Who told you that?
Laura.
Hernandez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's a Deepak Chopra life coach.
A Deepak Chopra?
Deepak Chopra.
Deepak Chopra. Is that what you're doing?
He's Ayurvedic medicine.
Who?
Ayurvedic.
I love it when you use big words.
All right. Well, I think that's it. We got to wrap it up. So thank you so much for watching today or listening wherever you are. And
God bless you.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of According to the Cassels with Amy and Trey. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. To stay up to date with the Cassels, follow Amy on Instagram @acassels. Until next time, have faith, enjoy life, and love abundantly.